All right, welcome to this explainer. What we're doing today is breaking down a really high-impact roadmap for anyone who feels like they're just stuck in financial survival mode. This is all about discipline, it's about strategy, and it's really about building a solid foundation for your future. So, let's just get right into it.
We're going to kick things off with a statement that's, well, it's designed to be a bit of a slap in the face, a real wake-up call, because the whole blueprint we're about to walk through is built on this one core idea. Your ego? It might just be the single biggest thing standing between you and actually being financially secure.
And that right there, that's the exact cycle we're here to break. Look, this isn't just about saving money. It's about stopping the flow of your hard-earned cash towards, what, temporary validation? We're going to talk about how to redirect that cash into a real financial stockpile. Something that's actually going to serve you 5, 10 years down the road.
Okay, so let's get into our first section here. We are going to tackle the root of the problem head-on. We're talking about the way our own ego drives us, almost forces us, to make choices that are just financially destructive.
Let's talk about something the source calls the ego tax. Think about it. This is that invisible cost you pay for trying to look wealthy when you're not. It's that 400 CD dinner you know you can't afford just to impress a date. It's buying the newest sneakers to look like you're up, to signal a status you haven't actually earned yet. You're not just spending money, you are literally paying a tax on your own future.
And here is the brutal, honest-to-goodness truth. The people who have genuinely built wealth, they are not impressed by this stuff. They don't see your labels and think status. They see the cost. They know exactly what you paid, and they see you taking money away from your future self for, what? A fleeting moment of social approval? It's a game you just can't win.
So all of this ego-driven spending, it leads directly to our next topic, what's called the survival mode trap. And it's a trap for a reason. It's a state that keeps millions of people completely stuck, unable to plan for anything at all, beyond their very next paycheck.
And this right here just perfectly illustrates the trap. Think about it. When you make, say, 3,000 CDs, and you spend exactly 3,000 CDs, you have absolutely zero margin for error. None. You can't even think about investing, or starting a business, or even just handling a small emergency, because you're constantly on a treadmill just trying to make it to the end of the month.
So, let's make this really personal for a second. I want you to take a moment and honestly, truly answer this question for yourself. If your income stopped cold today, how many days could you survive? A month? A week? Maybe just a few days? Look, this isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to give you absolute clarity.
Because the bottom line is really simple. If your answer was measured in days until next Friday, you are in a financial emergency. And it is time to act like it. It's time to acknowledge that and start moving with the urgency that this situation really demands.
Okay, but this isn't just about what's going on in your head, your internal mindset. Your external environment, it plays a huge role. And that brings us to our next point. Auditing your inner circle. Yeah, we need to talk about the people you're spending your time with. This slide lays it out so clearly. On one side, you've got friends who get it. They support your grind, they respect your budget, they're happy to do free or cheap things with you. But then, on the other side, you have what we're calling financial enemies. These are the ones who are always pressuring you to go out, making you feel guilty for saying no, and consistently pushing for those expensive activities that you just can't afford.
And this is one of the hardest truths in the entire blueprint. To build something meaningful, it often requires a lonely chapter. You have to be willing to love your goals more than you love your current social life, even if it feels totally isolating for a while. You've got to prioritize your future self.
Okay, so we've spent some time understanding the problems, right? The ego, the trap, the friends. Now let's get into the solution. This section is all about the specific, actionable rules you need to follow to break free and go on the financial defense. This is the protocol. Simple, but it requires discipline. Number 1, eat smart. Discount groceries only. No restaurants, period. 2, dress smart. Thrift stores are your new best friend. No new clothes. 3, socialize smart. Your social life now revolves around free events, hikes, workouts, you name it. And number 4, which might seem a little weird, is live smart. Go to bed by 9 p.m. And that last one, it's arguably the most powerful of all.
And here's why that last one is so important. The logic is just simple, biological discipline. If you are asleep by 9 p.m., you physically cannot be out at a bar blowing money you don't have. You're not mindlessly scrolling online, getting tempted by late-night shopping ads. You're recovering, and you're waking up early, ready to attack the next day.
So let's actually put some real numbers to this to see how powerful it is. Imagine you earn, say, 4,000 CDs a month. Now, for most people, that money just kind of disappears, right? But when you apply this defense strategy,
You can slash your survival cost down to the absolute bare minimum. Let's just say you get it down to 1,200 CDs. Now look at that. Look at that massive gap you've just created between what's coming in and what's going out. That gap, that is where all your power comes from.
And this right here is the incredible result. All of a sudden, you have 2,800 extra CDs every single month. And that's not just savings. That is capital. That is money you can now use to bet on yourself.
So what do you do with that money? This is the absolutely crucial next step. The goal isn't just to hoard a pile of cash under your mattress. It's to build a financial stockpile that you can strategically deploy to level yourself up. So once you've built up a nice stockpile, let's say you hit 20,000 CDs, you can start buying what the source calls experience points. This is the fuel for your growth. This is when you can buy that new piece of equipment, that software, that online course, or the coaching that is literally going to double your skill level and ultimately double your earning potential.
Which really brings us to the final choice. This entire process, everything we've talked about, it all comes down to deciding which version of yourself you actually want to become.
And this just illustrates the two paths perfectly. On the left, you've got Bizarro You, the person who looks rich but is actually broke. They've got the flashy car but zero in savings. So when a real opportunity comes along, they can't take it. But on the right, that's the person who follows this blueprint. They might appear simple, maybe even boring on the outside, but underneath, they are financially strong and they are ready to seize any opportunity that comes their way.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. The goal isn't to look rich. The goal is to build a quiet, formidable strength. To be the person in the room who looks totally unassuming, but has the resources, the skills, and the discipline to make real, powerful moves when it actually counts. So the question is, which one are you going to choose to be?